toxic masculinity.
Oh, he is looking at you. Yeah. At least he's not meowing.
Makes me uncomfortable. 1,000 migrants a day cross the border undetected.
Yeah, so apparently 1,000 migrants every single day are crossing the border undetected. These are the ones that they're not catching, they're not even seeing, right? This is the estimate. The
But
estimate
how
is
do they know if they are undetected?
because apparently they're being caught via like cameras and sensors and stuff like that. So they've somehow been able to estimate it. 1,000 migrants a day are sneaking across the U.S. past preoccupied Border Patrol agents. So the Border Patrol is preoccupied with other things. They can't be everywhere on the border at the same time. So their estimate is that it's 1,000 people a day. That's a lot. Every single day, 1,000 more immigrants are crossing the border. You know, forget the fact that the Biden administration is just releasing a lot of these people that they've caught back into the United States. It's like, oh, you crossed the border illegally? Welcome to the United States, you know? Forget that. And then there's thousands of people every day being released that way. There's another 1,000 that are crossing that they're not even seeing. They're not even catching. Now, how many of these people that are crossing the border aren't migrant families, but are rather MS-13 gang members, drug dealers, drug runners? How many of them are terrorists? How many of them are murderers, are criminals escaping the law in Mexico or Guatemala or Salvador or places like that? How many of these guys are just bad hombres, as Trump likes to say? I'm pretty sure that's a type of hairstyle, the bad hombre.
You mean the color?
Yeah.
Bad hombre.
Bad hombre. Yeah, hair coloring. Yeah. That's a terrible joke, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them are good. That one wasn't one of the. That one wasn't a good one. All right, let's see here. What's the hairstyle that goes from like red to orange or whatever?
It's a like gradient.
Yeah, it's a
ombre.
gradient, but it's
I
called
call
something.
it ombre.
Yeah, it's ombre, right?
Sometimes I do it on my nails. So.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, bad hombre. I thought it's kind of funny. All right, whatever. All right, let me read this story. Nearly 1,000 people every day are illegally entering the United States without being detected or taken into custody by Border Patrol agents, the Washington Post reported Friday. The migrants are reported to be able to sneak past immigration enforcement officials who are busy attending to migrant families and unaccompanied children while also trying to stop a soaring number of male adults from entering the country. 3 anonymous U.S. Customs Border Patrol officials reportedly told the Post. Talk no good. All right. The shocking news paints a picture of a worsening crisis at the southern border as increasing numbers of single adults are taking advantage of a preoccupied border protection force. The Post also reported Friday that border crossings last month reached more than 171,000, the highest mark in 15 years. There was the highest number of people in 15 years came in last month. 171,000 people came in last month. It says last month. Does that mean, when was this written? Does that mean March or yeah. Okay. So this is written today. So that means March. The figure shows a remarkable increase in border crossings this year, up from 78,442 in January, an even greater increase at the same time last year when only 34,460 border crossings were recorded in March, according to CBP data. A lot of people that I'm finding writing about the border on Twitter are writing BOARDER. That kind of border is like somebody who stays in your house and pays you rent for like renting a room in your house. They're called a border. The border, like the border between Mexico and the United States, is BORDER. So if you're spelling border wrong, please fix it. Every time I read BOARDER on Twitter, I cringe. I go, that's not right. Because it's such a simple word to spell, but so many people get it wrong. It's a little bit. I mean, it's an easy thing to mistake because they're both words, they rhyme. So let's see here. The Post reported Friday that border crossings. Okay, I read that. The Post reported that while CBP doesn't claim to ever have, interdicted. Is that right? That's weird. That's a word that I'm not familiar with this word, interdicted. I don't know. Maybe I say that wrong. I'm pretty familiar with most words. I grew up. My mother had like this very broad vocabulary because she read all the time, and so she would always introduce us to like weird words. But interdicted, I'm not familiar with that one. All right, every border crosser. Okay, so they're not claiming to catch or stop or even see every border crossing. They say that the number of gotaways has reached unprecedented levels in recent weeks, especially as the number of single adult border crossers has risen. The report said 99,000 single adults were caught by agents last month. CBP defines gotaway as an unlawful border crosser who is observed entering the country but is not turned back or apprehended by Border Patrol agents. The agency employs sophisticated surveillance technology, including drones, cameras, solar-powered portable towers, etc., to monitor and track border crossings. Smuggling organizations, well aware of the fact that Border Patrol agents are already stretched thin, are reportedly splitting up larger groups into smaller ones to further stretch the limited number of agents available to confront border crossers. One agent who spoke anonymously to the Biden administration, one agent who spoke anonymously because the Biden administration has not authorized agents to speak to reporters said smuggling organizations are sending small groups of 2, 3, 4, and that quickly occupies all the agents available to go after them. There may be 20 groups that day that are observed, but there's nobody to try to go after them, the agent added. They just keep walking until they're out of sight. The Post noted that the number of gotaways entering the country each day is the highest in recent memory. But here's the thing. Here's the other thing, right? These coyotes and these people that are taking people across the border, you think, okay, well, they're doing this strategy of, are you upset about the sun? Honestly, Valeria, getting up like once or twice during the show is okay. This is like every 2 minutes. This is unacceptable. We gotta work on this.
Okay.
All right. So it's not just that they're splitting up into 20 groups of like 4 people to take over so that they spread the border patrol thin and then they can get more immigrants over. That's not the only thing that they're doing. They're also doing this because they want to run drugs across the border, right? This is a coordinated effort where they're like, okay, if we can get all the border patrol chasing after all these immigrants, then we can run drugs around this way, which, after we get they're all occupied for the day, well, then we'll run drugs through this way, and they'll never know because they're already working on other stuff, right? So they can more easily run people or like high, like much more important, like VIPs that are trying to cross the border. So like, let's say a terrorist comes in from the Middle East and they say, okay, it's very important I don't get caught. They'll be like, okay, no problem. And they send their 20 little groups of illegal immigrants out here, and then once the border patrol is used up, then they whisk these people who don't want to get caught through. So I think what's happening is that the people we want to catch most crossing the border are not being caught because all these border patrol agents are all preoccupied dealing with families and children. And so this is Biden's fault. And Psaki keeps defending him by saying, we're helping the children. We're helping the children. Yeah, sure, you're helping the children until they get over here and they get addicted to drugs because all these drugs have come over the border with them, and you're helping children get raped probably on their way over, and you're just encouraging all this bad stuff. But
Well, I saw a video recently from the camera
Yeah.
on the border. The guy, I guess he was a trafficker, dropped 2 children, 3 and 5 years old, from the top of the fence down,
yeah, I saw that
and
too.
somebody picked them up. So I don't think it was parents.
No, they just
Yeah.
and they get paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for each person they're trying to smuggle across the border. So Joe Biden has created a new industry, an entire new industry. I mean, I guess the industry was there before he got into office, but he's definitely made it from like a small industry into a massive industry.
Yeah.
So well done, Joe Biden. Way to help those Mexican cartels out. All right, so shall we move on to the next story?
Yep. Episcopal bishop punished for refusing same-sex marriages.
Yeah, that is right. So the Episcopal Church is sort of notorious for being like pro-gay. They're like super pro-gay. Gay people should be ministers, and gay people should get married, and gay people should be everything gay.
Okay.
The Episcopal Church. I grew up with a friend of the family who was Episcopalian, and she was basically like a hardline leftist my whole life. Like, Toxic Masculinity, weekdays 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.